What is going on, boys and girls? Gadako Richard, back in the cuts. July 28th, 2024. Update on the month. July was a great month. Happy Sunday. Like I told you guys, I'm going to be back with the Sunday uploads because I want to upload every Sunday. So this is what we're going to do. Month of July, good month. $37,000 of revenue generated. So can't complain there. Things are looking good. Projected for more next month, and we shall see. But one thing I want to talk about today is success mechanisms. It's a lot of neurological stuff that I've been reading lately. I've been diving deep into the book of psycho-cybernetics, and obviously I'm in sales, so human nature is my forte. But number one thing I just want to talk about is obviously unlocking automatic success mechanisms, or success mechanisms in general. Biggest thing about success mechanisms that I'm learning now is first things first is instincts. If you look around me, all these trees filled with birds and other animals, all those animals have their own instincts, right? They have their own instincts. They wake up, they know what to do, they prep for the winter, they fly south, they store food, etc., etc., etc. Nobody ever taught them that. That's just a natural instinct that they have, want to survive. Marcus Aurelius talked about this in his book, Meditations. I'm not sure what book it was within the book, but he said that we should start to live similar to the birds, similar to all the animals that we see in nature, because they just follow their natural instincts. They remove all the pathology from their day-to-day actions. It's all logical, Staying disciplined, doing what you need to do, and just continuously doing that. Just kind of being a psychopath with your daily habits. If you can't be a psychopath with your daily habits, it's going to be very tough for you to unlock any sort of success mechanism that you may have as a human being. Because you're lost in the emotions, you're lost in thinking about what other people think of you, being self-conscious, all of it. And I mean, that's the worst thing that you can do, especially as a man that's trying to improve in his life, a man that's trying to generate massive amounts of money to make sure his family's going to be well off. The last thing that you could be thinking about, the last thing you should be thinking about is what others are thinking of you, okay? You need to remove all pathology from you need to remove all pathological thoughts from your daily routine. It should all only be logical thoughts. You should try to be as rational as possible. I'm not saying to be completely cold. I'm just saying to be stoic. I'm just saying to understand that life is not going to change based off what's happening inside of your head. Nothing is going to change no matter how seriously you take your tire blowing up, your girlfriend cheating on you, a girl ghosting you. Nothing is going to change based on how serious you take that and how much emotion you let that bubble up out of you. It's all going to remain the same. Reality is not going to alter to your emotional perception. So there's no need to actually be emotional. The best thing you could do is be logical and rational. And that's the same thing I touched in my other videos, is removing emotional investments from everything that you do. Obviously sales, if you're making cold calls, if you're knocking doors, if you are sending emails, if you pour too much emotion into any of those potential prospects, once they let you down, once they don't respond, once they reject your offer, you're going to feel bad about everything. You're going to start to blame it on yourself. You're going to start to think, oh, maybe I don't belong in sales. Maybe I can't do XYZ, because you're too emotionally vested into the input and in the output as well. So you can't do that. The second thing that we need to touch on is one thing that he was talking about is the fact that, like, hey, you can have a table in a dark room. You can have a table in a dark room with a couple of pens and pencils on it, and you can actually you can start reaching to that table and actually make out where that pen or pencil is based off just, I mean, all the muscles you've used in the past, how you know how a pencil feels on your fingertips, etc., etc. And then I also tie that into life. Life is basically, you're in a dark room, you are in a dark room, and there's a table there. That table, everybody's always reaching for something in life, where you're always reaching for whatever, it's a goal, a money, females. You're always in a dark room reaching for something. You don't necessarily know what's on that table. But what sucks for some people is that there's nothing on that table, so they're just reaching for pure hope. Pure hope. You're in a room in the dark hoping that there's going to be something on that table, but the sad truth is that there's nothing on that table for you. The main reason there's nothing on that table for you is because you have not inputted any data into your life. You've never inputted anything that is actually worthwhile grasping. That's why it feels like you have no purpose in life, because there's nothing there. What podcasts have you read? What action have you took? What risks have you taken? What experiences have you had? If it's zero, then there's going to be nothing there. That's why you feel purposeless. That's why you feel like your goals can't be obtained. That's why you feel depressed. That's why you feel like you lack the necessary tools to get to where you want to get to. It's because you don't input anything into your mind. Nothing. Are you just sitting there? Are you just watching YouTube videos? Are you just listening to music mindlessly? Are you even taking in anything? Like, bro, right now, like, look at this. I'm in a freaking field full of full of forestry and full of trees. All these trees right now have their own nervous systems and nerve endings. They communicate with each other, and they actually send food accordingly to each tree that is lacking nutrients. How did I know that? Because I read up on it. Why? Not sure. It was just in a book and it made sense and it was really cool. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not just here. I'm actually embracing nature, but in a much deeper level. I'm trying to get below the atoms. I'm trying to be a freaking physicist, bro. Obviously, I'm not. But that's one thing, bro. Obviously, you need to have data in your life. If you don't have the data in your life, man, you're just going to constantly be reaching in the dark. And that's how you, one, get rid of your lack of purpose. And once you start to input certain principles into your life, then you're going to see your automatic success mechanisms start to unlock. Your success mechanisms are going to look like somebody who flies across the city, flies across the country, flies across the world to take risks, to start a business, to meet new people, to start a YouTube channel, to start a clothing brand. That's what your automatic success mechanism looks like when it's in high gear. If you have somebody in your life and you know them and they're just constantly moving, making improvements, posting new things, learning a whole bunch of different principles in life and constantly applying them, that person's automatic success mechanism is in action. Their creative brain is constantly going, and they're trying to figure out new things and new things to implement. And if you're just sitting there watching them in the background, then you're just falling to nothing but bedrock. You're gonna look back the years of your life, and the books of those and the pages in that book are just gonna be empty, and you're just gonna fall into perpetual loops of self-hate and self-despair. I'm not sure if that's something that you want, but if you want to continue on that path, then stay watching videos like this, stay reading all the books, and stay just in your room and not making that necessary action. I think that's going to be the best route for you if you love seeing other people with their success mechanisms rolling, like myself. You don't want to be that person. Make action, start planning, start jotting, start inputting data so there's something to grab on those tables. Love you. Start off tomorrow strong, G. Peace.